All right. So, in talking about the past and a few videos here, I've been remembering a very important memory. See, I knew this girl, and she was quite something. The other girls I was around, they didn't really match her. She was very different in all the right ways. She was charismatic, smart, beautiful, just an all around great person to be around. She was full of wisdom, she was full of life, and she was an honor student. We met in a very unlikely way of meeting someone. And you don't meet people like that very often. So we were at a townhouse area, and the complex had two areas, and we were on this side, and she was on this side. We shared a small forest with a creek, and my brother and I went down there, as we often did, and across the creek, here comes her and her friend out of the bushes. You don't see attractive girls in the forest, much less across the creek, very often. So that started our friendship. And, she was really special, very special. We talked a lot. We would hang out a lot. But the reason she was different was that she was confident. So the girls I was around, they struggled with self-esteem issues. And so I didn't worry about them trying to one up me or anything. She challenged me in ways I wasn't ready to be challenged. In my world, I was the best thing that ever happened to most people. And so I had that challenge with basically the female version of myself. There was a lot of similarities, a lot of things we had in common. And I didn't believe that two dominant personalities could coexist in harmony. And she was very flirtatious. She was very, very different. No one messed with me like she did. No one challenged me the way she did. I mean, she threw knives better than I did. That kind of thing. It would be like if Robin Hood was outshot by a woman he was interested in. It was that kind of thing, that kind of feeling. And it's just like, oh, I don't like this. So, we would share stories. And she said, I like her trying to one up me. I'm like, I wasn't trying to one up you. I was sharing something we both had an experience in. But that's the way she would mess with me. Well, there were two distinct memories of back then. One of which we were walking down the sidewalk and she burned me really, really good. And she responds with this innocent smile. You know you love me. And I didn't respond. And she looked at me and said, You're not denying it. And I looked at her and I said, why would I deny something that you know to be true? I never hid my feelings. Ever. We're playing tag one day, and I'm very fast, mind you. If you've listened to my other stories, you know that. And she runs across the street. Now, bear in mind here, I'm around 13, 14, and the road that we're on is a bridge across the creek that we share, because it loops around. And so we're on that little bridge where the cars, drive over, and there's nowhere for her to go. And I said, I don't like the situation you put me in. And she gives me these big old smiles, right? She knows what she did. And I'm like, if I let you go, I'm whipped. But if I tag you, I'm a jerk, right? She smiles, and so I said, okay, fine. 5-second head start. So she runs. I count. When I get to 5, I run and I get her. And I told her I don't want to ever be put in that situation ever again. I don't like that situation. And she's all smiles and giggles, Well, this girl liked throwing me off guard. She liked doing things that no one's done before. And she was terrific. She never lied to me, betrayed me. She treated me very, very well. When I moved, I had her over with all my friends. And we go up to the park that's near my house. You can walk right up to it. And I don't drink water. We had iced tea. It was the summertime. So I grabbed iced tea and filled the water bottle with it, right? And I gave everybody else waters. Loaded it up in my backpack. Loaded it all in my backpack. We went up there. And then I started passing them around, right? I think nothing of it. And then I pull out mine last, right? That's why I do things. Everybody else gets served first. I get served last. So I grab my iced tea bottle. And she looks at me like I betrayed her trust. And she says, "What's that?" I said, "Iced tea." She punches me in the arm and she says, "And you didn't think that I'd want that?" I said, "I don't drink water. Everybody else I met drinks water." And we started laughing, and she was joking, telling me, "You need to go home and get me iced tea." I'm not going all the way back home. So it was a good laugh. I enjoy those memories. As I got older, I realized you absolutely could make it work with two dominant personalities because of structure and love and respect and boundaries. So, who knows? It may work out. We spent 11 years apart, growing and maturing, and who knows? I'm hopeful. I would love to at least hang out with her again and talk. I would love that. We talked all the time, and I trusted her. She gave me no reasons not to trust her. Unfortunately, we didn't get too close because things happened. But I remember before I saw her, um, I was in a apartment waiting for my house to be finished, right? And that's when the shooting happened at Reynolds High School. And she went to that high school. And so immediately I gave her a call. She explained to me what happened, explained her perspective of it. One of the kids that lost his life to it was a friend of hers, and I knew where his family had moved to. They moved to a home I was very familiar with because my friend used to live there, and I spent a lot of time there as a kid. 10 years old, 10, 11, around there. And I was heartbroken, just shattered that would happen to us. Luckily, she's fine. She told me what a hero he was. I'll never forget Emilio or her. Um, it left a scar on all of us. So I've been in contact with her still, but she's very busy, and I understand. Um, but she does take the time to read my messages and respond when she can. She still shows that she's a good friend. I'll always count on her. Growing up, I had a friend that lived across the street from my grandparents, and I would visit with her often. And we must have been like 8, 9 years old at the time. She told me it was illegal to hit a girl. And in my child brain, that was like the most stupidest thing I ever heard. So I popped in the arm once. And then I said, "Where are the cops?" She never said that again to me. And back then, that was totally fine. We were all friends. I mean, we had neighbor kids with our bikes. We go everywhere together. I mean, that's the way it was. So we had tough skin. We had thick skin. We worked things out. There was conflict all the time. But it's all about how you work through it. Nowadays, it seems like everybody wants to be offended by everything. I didn't understand that. I still don't. But it's like these people have very thin skin. And they don't understand how to deal with conflict correctly. It's always, I'm offended, I'm offended, I'm offended, I'm offended, I'm offended. Well, who cares? You're gonna get offended in life. What matters is how you conduct yourself after you get offended. That's what matters. But again, that's maturity, and don't have that. But yeah, just some fun stories I thought I'd share with you guys. Um, I would love to hang out with that friend again, catch up, and seeing if we could find a way to make things work out for the two of us. I mean, no doubt I'd make her very happy, and I'm sure she'd make me very happy, but it comes down to things if things align the way they're supposed to for us. So, we'll wait and see.